It was Edmund Burke who said that in order for evil to prosper, good men must do nothing. Argula von Grumbach was a woman who, when she saw an injustice, an overreach of authority, or a wrong taking place, she would speak up either verbally or through letters, regardless of the consequences to herself and her family. Such men and women are needed today, who are unfazed by pressure, reputation, and titles, but whose conscience is as true to duty as a needle to the pole. Argula was born in 1492 to the Bavarian noble household of Hohenstaufen, though her family had been impoverished by wars between the nobility. At the age of 10, she was sent to be a maid-in-waiting with the mother of the Duke of Bavaria, and as she left home, her father gave her a copy of the Coburger Bible, a rudimentary German translation. However, she did not read the Bible because she had been warned by the observant Franciscan monks that reading the Bible would lead you astray spiritually. Sadly, shortly after she arrived at the Bavarian ducal court, both her parents died within days of each other, most likely from the plague. At the age of 24 in 1516, she married Friedrich von Grumbach, who himself was an impoverished noble, and together they had 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. In the 1520s, she began to read every piece of Martin Luther's literature that she could get her hands on, and also began corresponding with him as well. In 1524, a situation arose here in Ingolstadt at the university, where she wrote a letter to the entire faculty in regards to Arsacius Seehofer, who had been threatened with imprisonment and the stake if he did not recant. She excoriated them for their behavior, insisting that Luther and Melanchthon had done nothing but preach the word of God. She pointed out that while the faculty had condemned their work, not one of their refuting arguments had come from the Bible itself. She also claimed that the papal authority was not correct and claimed the word of God as supreme. Interestingly, she said, "You need not think you can pull God, the apostles and the prophets down from heaven with papal decretals drawn from Aristotle, who himself was not even a Christian at all." The result of her letter was that Seehofer was spared the stake and would go on to be a Protestant teacher and preacher. She claims to be a woman driven solely by the word of God, and her letter to the University of Ingolstadt is an indication that she was unafraid to stand up to men in authority when needed. In 1523, she was invited here to Nuremberg for the Diet of the Empire, and she shared her thoughts freely on the Reformation with the Count of Palatinate. Later, when the Diet of Regensburg was meeting to discuss enforcing the Edict of Worms against Luther's writings, she wrote a letter saying that the mandate was prompted by Satan against the word of God. Her writing would inspire another woman, Ursula Weiden, to write a tract dealing with the issue of clerical marriage. Her family was against her, appalled at her audacity, with her outspoken views on behalf of the Reformation, said to have cost her husband his job, something he wasn't too pleased about. He would die in 1530 and she would get remarried, though her second husband would only live 18 months into the marriage. Not much is heard of her over the next 40 years, as she spent her time managing her estate and raising her children, though in 1563 she was once more in the public eye, circulating books contrary to Catholicism. Having clear, defined, or when needed, outspoken views are useless if they're not voiced or heard. May we have the boldness to share when needed, to stand in defense of truth, even when the majority forsake us. When that test comes, may we be faithful and not shirk our duty as followers of Jesus. Lineage is a crowd-funded non-profit studio. We make videos, we write articles and books, and we've got a podcast. And it's all to share the stories of biblical and Christian role models in history. We uncover heroes from the past to inspire, guide, and help today's generation connect the past with the present and the future. And it's all free for you because it's been generously paid for by thousands of supporters all over the world. Your support is helping millions of people understand their identity, their purpose, and their mission in life. Crowdfunded means whatever you give, big or small, helps us accomplish our mission. You can help us make more resources by joining our mission. You can give at lineagejourney.com.